This sign used to say re-elect a former candidate, but according to state law, it was in violation. Now this white tape is meant to bring it back into compliance. Nearly a week after 10-year-old Namila Turner Moore's body was discovered, her family and loved ones set up this vigil for her, bringing together things like balloons, stuffed animals, and fond memories of her.
Alexis, what can you tell us about tonight?
Well, Courtney, there's already over 300 cars, some from 1966 and some newer, and also some you'll only see in movies. And as the executive director of Back to the Bricks tells me, this is just the beginning. Now, what can people expect today?
From this crime stat report from the city of Flint on August 14th, compared to last year where the city saw 45 homicides, we're now looking at about 25 from this time last year. And if you scroll down here, the total amount of violent crimes are also down from last year.
I don't know if you can see all of the people walking out of city council chambers now, but that is the result of 4 council members getting up and walking out of the meeting, breaking their quorum. Now, like you said, they were set to discuss 2 major things today, including those Flint security cameras for the Flint Police Department, as well as the $300 water credits, which residents have been waiting on for at least a month at this point. Now, going into those security. This front yard is where 10-year-old Tammy Smart became a hero after saving her little sister from a dog attack. That rescue left her with layers of stitches. That's all according to Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson.
All this was hanging down. You could see that if you look up a little bit, you could see that if on her neck the dog was chewing.
According to the Genesee County Sheriff's Department, the dog that attacked 10-year-old Tammy Smart and her 2-year-old sister lived next door to the family. The Smart family tells me they have seen aggressive behavior from this dog before, recounting a time where the dog nipped at their other children.
My son just got a little too close to him playing with the kids, and the dog got him right here.
I spoke with Jason Damon, who owns the dog, and when I asked him, he didn't deny the dog nipped at the children, but also says their behavior hasn't helped.
We saw them kicking at the dog through the kitchen window, so they were kind of taunting the dogs.
During those attacks, the dog never broke any skin, according to the Smart family, until last Sunday when he attacked Tammy's 2-year-old sister.
I was really scared, and I saw her first, and I tried to get her off out of his mouth. She ran and started screaming really loud.
This is a picture of the leash that the dog broke free of right before going after the children, according to Sheriff Swanson.
We are all responsible for the animals that we take care of. And I think anybody who has an animal knows when your animal's aggressive.
10-year-old Tammy was taken to the hospital soon after the attack, where her face and chin were stitched up. She lost 2 of her adult teeth in the attack. Even still, she tells me she's happy she stepped in.
Because she's my little sister, and I love her a lot.
Now the situation is being looked at by the Genesee County prosecutor to evaluate if charges should be filed.
Absolutely taking it to Prosecutor Layton. You have an injury, you have a family that's responsible, because we're all responsible for our pets, and he's going to have to make the determination.
Reporting, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.
Never trust the water in Flint no more. I hate that I have to trust it to take a bath in. I really do.
That's Shirley Snowden, a Flint resident of 63 years. She tells me she just recently had her water tested inside her home, and the results said it was safe for her to use it. Even still, she tells me she believes she has PTSD from the Flint water crisis.
I'm really scared to take a bath in that water, sitting in that water. So what I do now, I run through that shower and try to get out of it because I'm afraid.
Inside the study published by the American Medical Association, it details what percentage of people in Flint have PTSD or depression disorder compared to the rest of the state.
6% of the average population in the country has some depression during any given year. And then when they looked at this data, the people that they surveyed in Flint, 22% had experienced depression in the past year.
Dr. Bobby says that's almost 4 times higher than the national average. Those experiencing some form of PTSD in Flint was also higher. But he tells me because PTSD and depression disorder are diagnoses, there are treatments that can offset the effects. Inside the study, they show 1 in 3 people who reported experiencing these symptoms were asked if they wanted treatment, and about 80% received it.
That's either, psychotherapy or medication or counseling. Those are the kind of options that are available to these folks.
Despite the medical treatments that help PTSD and depression disorder, residents tell me this is something that won't go away. Do you think that people will ever get over what happened?
No, we'll never get over that. That's just like the slaves back in the day.
Now, Dr. Bobby says both residents and their physicians should both talk to each other to see if a treatment may help. In the Content Center, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.
I get let down once again, and it's not by anybody other than the judicial system.
Jessica Rice lost her 16-year-old son, Trenton Morin, last year on Easter weekend. Now, more than 12 months after his death, Rice is asking for more accountability from the court system. She tells me without her own curiosity, she would have missed the most recent hearing in her son's murder case.
Something in my heart told me to look it up.
I sat down with the Genesee County prosecutor, David Layton, who tells me his office sends out the letters as soon as they're notified about the hearing. But he says the mail carrier is ultimately responsible for getting it there.
We did send the victim's family a letter indicating that there was a court hearing coming up.
The court date was set on May 18th. The letter was sent out May 19th, which was the weekend. And here the court date is on May 23rd. They expect me to get that letter before then?
Rice says she just received the letter in the mail on May 25th, 2 days after the hearing took place. Prosecutor Layton tells me in addition to sending out letters, his office also makes calls and sends emails, all of which Rice says she never received prior to the hearing.
My 16-year-old, he can't sleep at night because he's so cold.
These are the stories brought to Mid-Michigan Now's attention by residents of Redstone townhomes, stating sometimes they sleep with hats on, but oftentimes they heat their homes with their stoves.
It's like it's wintertime and I don't know how to keep my house warm because you can't sleep with an oven on. So you wake up in a fire in the morgue. So it's just like I'm trying to survive out here.
But Ryan Grays, the property manager of the building, say that's not completely true. He admits some residents are having issues, but he says that's due to the complex recently switching over their heating systems.
The company that was contracted out, what they did was they changed everybody's zone valves and thermostats so that everybody could control their own heat. But the city inspector was out here today. There is heat.
Before the switch, Grace tells me residents weren't able to control their own heat, causing issues. This new system is designed to give them that ability, but setup is taking longer than he expected.
The settings on the thermostat, they didn't come with the manual. So I have to go into everyone's thermostat and get it to the proper setting. So some may say, well, we have it held, we got it all the way up at 73, but the hold inside of the thermostat, the system is saying it's going to hold at 63. So once it hits 73, it's going to drop back down and then hold at 65.
While Grace says the heating issue was a big misunderstanding, we uncovered another issue at the Redstone townhomes that has residents fed up.
I've been having holes in my wall since, because I had an electric problem. And they had been supposed to fix it, and they haven't fixed it yet because they had roofing problem they had to fix first. They had aluminum siding issues.
Grace says the repairs are a work in progress.
No one is getting ignored. It's an ongoing issue. I've been on it every day.
Grace says there's over 90 units here, with 9 of them still not having the updated system. Now, we did reach out to the city for a comment, but have not heard anything back yet. Gray does say he will keep us updated as things improve here, and we'll keep you updated as we hear. In Flint, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.